This is Listening with Franklin Livingston, and our guest is Matthew Dean Hollis.
Cool. So, how was the religious part of that? It's an Islamic country. It's different kind of Islamic country as compared to, say, Egypt and Turkey, because of its historical presence and Makkah being there.
Yeah.
So, how was the life on the streets? Do they have 5 times call to worship in the loudspeakers?
Yeah.
And do people close everything? Mostly people pray and all that, or no?
I believe everybody prays. Yeah.
Even in the mall?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we weren't there for a prayer time though.
Mm-hmm.
But we would hear the call to worship every day. So, and then also our backstage hands that would help out would also like leave for a section.
But the people you connected with, like this gym owner and all that, do you feel that in their own understanding you are not the saved ones, or they don't really care about that while having a sociological?
I don't think there's as much of a call to reach out as there is for what I think Christians feel. That kind of.
Oh, you mean in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah. I don't think there's that much of a, I know that person isn't Muslim. I need to save them. I need to,
Yeah, I think like even countries like Pakistan, tourists, usually no one will behave in a way, hey, my God, you came from the US, let me save you before you go back. No, but I think if you develop more friendly or you get more closer, more close to these people, then there might be that, why don't you convert to Islam, right? But at a surface level, no, I don't think so. But here's another difference. The laws are so strict. In all over Arabia, especially Saudi Arabia, that I don't think that they wanna mess with a foreigner and then get killed or I don't know what were the penalties. I know if you steal, then they cut off your thing. So
if you get caught with alcohol, it's 60 lashes in the town square.
Oh wow!
Publicly,
yeah.
That's the only one that the security team was really.
No, I don't think that'll apply to, especially with this current prince.
Yeah. No,
the crown prince. I should call him the crown prince.
It doesn't apply anymore because now they have a bar in
Jeddah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean previously also because see the thing is Saudi Arabia not Saudi Dubai for example, United Arab Emirates. You're not supposed to drink, but if you are a foreigner or if you're a non-Muslim, I think there's a process. It's not that complicated. You get off the plane and then you can ask for some sort of permission.
Oh, we drank in Dubai.
Yeah, but if you really want to have all the documents in a row. So I don't think...
Because there were liquor stores that you would just go into and buy liquor.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. Also, you look like my kind of guy. I have to prove
that you're not.
Where are you from?
Yeah.
The U.S.? Okay.
They don't think I'm from there?
No. So for you, it's like so understood. Yeah. That's why I was asking you. I don't know what country I said would have landed well.
Yeah.
Because, for example, when I'm in Kuala Lumpur, I can, to be honest, I can say I'm from anywhere.
Yeah.
And they'll buy into it, right? Yeah. But your case, you can't.
Yeah.
You have limitations, right? And you represent wealth differently and privilege differently.
Which is frustrating when I go to a country where people think something of me that's not true.
Yeah, and
they think I have more than I have because I look like me.
Because that has been portrayed. Like, what do movies show? When you talk about New York City, let's say, do we show we have homeless people? Do we show we have street crime? Right? No. It's like you just come and then you become whatever.
And then
that's it.
Yeah.
And So there are reasons the image, as I mentioned, not today. When you think of Pakistan, if you just want to have a perspective from the Western media, Western media is only going to focus because you have to understand news have an agenda, right? And it's not their fault, but they will usually focus on the area where extremists are near Afghanistan or people or poverty hit neighborhoods or women who are imprisoned into the old structural system. When we go to the cities, like for example, if I were to talk about my friends and all that, or the plays I would watch, men are oppressed, and men are scared of women, and I haven't seen a single character in the real, like my cousins and relatives, or even in the fictional world, that lives out the way a man has been described. Like you can't really say, "All right, I'm gonna keep my feet on this table and go and grab me a bottle of beer and open it, and then is the dinner ready or not?" Right? Because she's gonna slap you or beat you up. So, but that kind of that part of that country is relevant to those people or understood by those people who have either lived there or they're directly in touch with that. But there's a global perspective. Likewise, when you have a global perspective of the United States, now things are changing because of social media. Previously, the way we painted it was that if you want to see law and order, it's the US. If you want to see people being well fed, we have so much food, no one sleeps hungry, it's the US. That's why people live, and the best train system is in the US. But now what happens is social media, you can't control people the same way. So if you're gonna post like, "Oh my God, I am in the shitty neighborhood of Brooklyn," right? And people can watch it, sitting across the world, Malaysia or whatever. So I think that's the reason. It's not your fault. It's and as I mentioned early on, that people who have been in the countries where these countries were colonized, so they had an idea. For example, whom did they see? Like all Brits did not go to these countries. They're poor people struggling in England and other states too. But these people who ruled, they were the crown's favorite people. In their own way, highly educated, smart bureaucrats. And they had privilege. They had privilege to wear nicely, look nicely. A poor person can't even afford a gym membership. A poor person can't afford a healthy diet, right? And those people were not on these positions. So that's why the image these people left is about wealth and power and privilege and manners and eating with serviettes and a butler standing. That's what we read in plays and all that. And that has been there. But an average mind doesn't really understand that when you go to England, I can't afford a butler. Right? And it's not that every person was like that. So that's there has been a disconnect for years. I think some of it is now changing because of the social media awareness. And which should happen because every community has good people and bad people. Every country has wealthy people and poor people. And even like, let's say Africa's poor country, they will have people who are billionaires. And they have everything. They will have Mercedes and Rolls Royce and all. But our focus is not that. Right? We would focus on, oh my God, they are dying of hunger. And what if, I mean, I was surprised to see south side of Chicago. And I learned actually, I forgot the percentage of the people in the United States who do not have air conditioning in the summer because they can't afford. So it's a sad reality that we only focus on the things we like to talk about. And it's more what you were saying early on. It's reading the Bible passively and not actively. and not really understanding the deeper meaning behind things,
Yeah.
or not seeing the full picture.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important to see the full picture.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's an easy thing to do when you travel, is be able to take a 2-day trip somewhere and then immediately now you know that country, rather than try to actually go eat at a restaurant that
Mhm.
other people that are from there eat at and try to have a conversation.
Mhm.
That's going to teach you more about that country than going there for 4 days
Mm-hmm.
and just doing whatever is fun and Instagram worthy
Mm-hmm.
or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But that's something I really enjoyed about Japan, actually, was the people wanting to share their culture.
Mm.
They were very open to, like, I would say arigato gozaimasu, and they would be clapping for me because I tried.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that
You
helps
know?
actually. Yeah, I'm really
Like,
terrible. I can barely say a couple of things in Spanish, and
Mhm.
I learned the greetings in Thai. But yeah, that
Yeah.
like sometimes it encourages
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
That because it comes across you respect their culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which we should.
Yeah.
Every time you go somewhere, it's not your prerogative to take up space.
Mm-hmm.
You're a visitor. You should be honoring the people that are allowing you to experience what their life is, because it's a gift
Mm-hmm.
to be able to experience someone else's life, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Same thing I've noticed. Some of actually from my background, some of very my conservative relatives, they would be hesitant, I would say, in saying the greetings in an Islamic way, right? Now, to me, it's a language difference, as I was saying earlier, that God is in English and Allah is in Arabic. Same thing when Muslims say Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be with you.
Yeah.
When we read Jesus' greetings, it's peace be with you, but we read in English.
Yeah.
The translation, the Arabic version of that phrase will be Assalamu alaikum, right? But we tie that idea with the broader spectrum that, oh my God, Muslims, oh my God. And then historical events of the Islamic extremism, right? And that in extremism involving some elements of terrorism.
Yeah.
So then we view everything through that lens.
Yeah.
And then it scares us off. And then, of course, like we develop that disconnect, or like we just develop that gap between the communities that might be part of the same country or city, but not in a harmonious relationship, which is sad. But language can do that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us view things at its face level instead of delving down and seeing what it means.
Yeah, I try to always at least learn hello, goodbye, and thank you.
That's great. Yeah, no, that's really, really great.
It's not hard.
I got to work on that.
Yeah. You know? Yeah.
It's not hard. Yeah, we can even write it down on your phone and revise it 3 or 4
times.
times.
On your hand. I don't care. As long as you're taking the time to try.
Right. That's what I need to work on. Yeah. I will.
But it's fun too, because now I'll remember. So every once in a while, I have. When I was coaching gymnastics, I had girls from. They're not from Russia, but their mothers were from Russia, so they speak Russian at home. So when I was a kid and I was doing ballet, I danced with the Bolshoi Ballet when they came to New York, and I learned a little bit of Russian. But the only Russian I remember are two ways to say hello. One is hi, which is privyet, and then one is the formal hello, which is здравствуйте.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I didn't know either. I know a couple of words. Nazdarovia.
Yeah.
Which means cheers.
Yeah.
And, oh God, I forgot. Thank you means bashiba.
Yeah. Spasiba.
How will you use
Spasiba.
with us?
Yeah.
Spasiba.
Yeah.
Spasiba.
I think of placebo.
Placebo.
Spasiba.
Siba. Okay, I practiced
Yeah.
that. It's late now.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
I would, every time they would do a vault or something,
yeah.
I'd say, "That's what you."
That's
So,
great. Yeah, yeah.
And they would laugh.
It
and-
cheers.
and-
Yeah, it
yeah,
cheers the next
yeah.
person up, and that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try to do that in Spanish, and usually, even like people who work here, the
Yeah.
cleaning crew,
Yeah.
they come around 8 p.m. Sometimes I'm
Mhm.
here in the studio, and I would say hola, right?
Yeah.
And the other day, I think I said gracias, and she said, "You're welcome, Franklin," because I mean, I was just trying to
Yeah.
the nada few words,
Yeah. The only
Say-
Spanish I really remember is una mesa para dos personas, por favor.
I don't know what
Which
that
is
means.
One,
but
one
it-
table
it-
for
oh,
2
legit.
people, please. Yeah.
Ah.
Because when I was in Mexico City, everything was.
When did you go there? We didn't
Spanish.
talk about your
I forgot.
Mexico
I
City.
forgot that one. I
Oh
forgot
my
that one.
God!
That was before COVID too. Yeah. That was,
Oh, when you were doing these
the
tours.
stunt show. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So with your girlfriend, you have
Yeah.
only been to Cairo? Or?
No, we went to Portugal.
Oh, you went to
We
Portugal.
went to
too.
Portugal the year after that.
How was that?
I loved it.
Right.
It was great. Yeah, we rented a car.
Mhm.
And we drove from Lisbon down to, drove from Porto down to Lisbon. Spent a couple days in Lisbon walking around. We're walkers. We're runners. So we were walking all day, all over the place. The streets are so beautiful with all the like black and white kind of tiles everywhere, making pictures, mosaics. And then went back up to Porto for a couple days. The port was just so good there.
So they drive on what side of the road?
I think they're still on the right side.
Like here, like US?
Yeah, like here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they
That's why I
they
was like,
really-
okay, I
they
can
got
just-
it right. Okay.
Yeah.
Brits
Yeah.
got it
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
All right.
Um,
No, the movie.
I think all of Europe is right. I think the Brits are the only ones that are left, and then any
They
British
are not
colonial
Europe.
like. Yeah.
That's why. Yeah, no, I don't remember. I sometimes don't pay attention to it. So I haven't been to Portugal, but the movie, the one.
Oh, yeah.
I sent the email we were talking about. My first movie. The music guy, the guy
Yeah.
who did music, he's in Lisbon, I guess.
Okay.
He's in Portugal, and he did music while sitting there.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. It's
People are nicer,
really
politer.
nice. Really nice.
'Cause, he's a very polite guy.
Yeah.
And there's another guy, he's in Rome right now doing music of my series.
Yeah.
One season. And yeah, sometimes
Is he
it's
nice?
difficult to. Yeah, very
The guy from
polite.
Rome?
Yeah.
I hated Rome.
No,
I thought they
because
were really
it depends.
hard.
They're
people.
nice people. No, yeah, that's what I was trying to understand. He's a very nice guy and very polite.
Yeah.
I mean, there are good people
Yeah.
everywhere, right? And again, you didn't see the whole Rome.
Yeah.
See? Did you?
I would no. I was a
See,
tourist.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so I haven't seen Lisbon. I haven't been there actually at all.
Yeah.
But eventually one day you gotta have money to travel.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
And
Yeah.
so you went for how long? You guys went there.
We
for?
were in Portugal for a week.
And then you came back or went
And
elsewhere?
came back. Yeah. For
Okay.
that one was just a week-long trip, and then
There was a reason. Because I'm gonna ask why.
for fun.
Why did you
Just
go
for
there?
fun.
All right.
Yeah.
But why Portugal and
Why
not
Portugal?
Spain?
It was cheaper.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the cheapest European city we can get to.
Mhm.
It was also one of her. She just like wanted to go. It was just one of her places she wanted to go.
Do you fear street crime like France, Paris, or Barcelona, or it's safe?
I think that those are all safe. Yeah, I think the only time I've ever felt aware of pickpockets was Rome and Athens. Rome and Athens.
Oh, you went to
Both-
Athens
yeah,
too.
both
The
of those
Fossil
were
Walls
very-
area.
not great. I went to Ephesus
Oh, cool.
actually.
Did
Yeah.
you see the Church of Ephesus there?
I
And all
did.
that? Who wrote the letter here?
Yeah.
I haven't been there, so
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
I haven't been.
That was kind of crazy. I didn't even realize that Ephesus was Ephesians.
Just
Like
there. Yeah.
I didn't even put that together
Until-
until I was in Ephesus, walking through the ruins, And then one of the plaques said the Ephesians, blah blah blah. And I was like, the Ephesians.
Yeah.
I get it.
These are the
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Oh my God, he was
Yeah.
writing to you guys.
Well, because also I don't think of Ephesus being in Turkey.
Yeah, see,
Like,
the
like
geography was different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was so interesting to even think of where these things were and then put it into perspective of where it actually is now.
Yeah, because see, the empire was different then.
Yeah.
The boundaries of the
Yeah.
empire.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I only felt pickpocket aware in Rome and in Athens because and Cambodia I was on
Yeah, you did.
high alert too.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's why we didn't go there.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I mean, it's just like I was okay because if a couple of people are saying, then maybe. Actually, I met a guy at an airport,
Yeah.
and I went to see off someone, and the guy, I sometimes begin talking to if I see someone is friendlier, and he said, "Oh, I was in this country, and Cambodia, which was not great." So I was like, all right, he's a young man. I think he was 26, somewhere there. And if he's feeling it wasn't great, that means it's not. It's like as I mentioned, my father flying through Cairo, and he was like, "No."
Yeah.
So I was like, "All right, if he wasn't comfortable, then I shouldn't." Right?
Yeah. But we went to Cambodia on the same trip as Malaysia. So
that was after Portugal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that was after Portugal. That was summer of 2023, right before Saudi. We went because my girlfriend has a program called Work Your World with her job, where she can work pretty much anywhere in the world for up to 6 weeks a year.
Cool.
And then, so we took a week of vacation on either side of those 6 weeks of work. We worked from Malaysia, did Kuala Lumpur, Malacca, Langkawi, and Georgetown. And then we spent the first week in Japan, did Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. And then the last week in Seoul, Korea. Or no, half in Vietnam, half in Seoul. In Vietnam, we did both Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh.
Oh, cool. How'd you like Seoul?
I loved it.
Yeah? Which part?
It. Oh my gosh. Which part did we stay? We stayed at the JW Marriott. I don't remember where that is specifically. Train stop that's on.
Is it closer to Intercontinental?
I think so. I think it's around that area.
Yeah, that's a really nice area. And I used to go to Seoul almost every year until...
Oh, really?
I didn't go last year because I have a friend there, so it's easy. He's a local, and it's just easy when you know someone local.
Yeah. I like the walking. I like the walkability of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
It takes a long time.
I didn't walk much.
It takes a long time to walk places, but it's nice walking. Like, sidewalks are a good space, like a good width. And then
you don't
also
feel threatened by...
There's things around to see still, you know. It's not just the same thing over and over and over again. You're seeing different neighborhoods. And that's actually the thing I loved about Tokyo the most was the clear boundaries of neighborhoods. You'll see a certain type of home and then boom, another certain type of home. Boom, shops. Yeah. And so it was so segmented into these tight, neat neighborhoods. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And and the parks in Tokyo were amazing. And Seoul.
I haven't been to a park in both the countries. Park, no.
Actually, in Seoul, I met a preacher in the park. We were hiking. We were hiking.
Was he preaching, or you were like, "Oh, you look like a preacher"?
He was a guy walking. We were walking. And then we bumped into each other. Said, "Hey, how's it going?" And
was he Korean?
Yeah.
Okay. I went to Korea first time, Seoul, to see Dr. Younghae Cho's church. You know, it was I don't know, world's largest or Asia's largest church. It's in decline now. It's not the way it used to be, and from there, Asia, I think in Asia, there are a lot of Pentecostal movements out of Christian churches. So it was one of those. And my friend, actually, I met him there for the first time. Met him there, and it was very random. And I was surprised we had lunch. Like I met a few people at the church, and we all had lunch. And this guy, hey, I want to buy you ice cream or something, some sort of dessert. I forgot. And I was like, yeah, that's very kind. And he shared he has been in New Jersey. I'm like, wow. And he was so humble. He didn't share much. We connected on Instagram. Fast forward, I think COVID happened. After that, 2 or 3 years later, I texted him that, hey, I'm thinking of visiting if you want to just hang out. I wasn't sure. I mean, people would say no. And he said, yeah, definitely. And he met with a couple of other friends. And then later I learned he was in the military. He was trained here in the US too. They had some sort of program, South Korea and US, for soldier, probably like student exchange type thing. And then I learned he was very active in his church, and he was working for the train system. The train system is great, the local one. And then he was involved in a lot of other things. And I think he's one of those guys. When second time I went, he was learning how to cut hair at a salon. Third time I went, he was learning music, how to compose music. And I was like, wow, this guy has a lot of energy. So that's why I felt comfortable. And with him, I walked. He knew where to go, not by myself. And then this movie, again, I've been talking about this movie a lot. This movie, there's a scene you'll see. It's about doctors' conference, and there's a guy. So there's an imagery in that. There are three people of color who are quiet, a foreign background, I should say, not foreign. I mean, who are not African American or white, and the other people are just talking about politics or whatever. And these three people who are quieter, one of them is a Korean guy, and the way I got connected to him was he was extra in my thingy. And that time, it's not that long ago, a couple of years ago, I was a little well mannered, a little bit different. So I wrote thank you notes to everyone, handwritten. And he replied to me, and he was surprised that no one does that for an extra, right? I mean, in my mind, whether or not you lead or an extra, you're still an actor. And you're still worthy of respect and thanks, right? And he just liked that, and we developed that connection. So when I went to Korea third time or whatever, I hit him up and we hung out. And then I went again, and he was on a Netflix series, and he got a little busier. I see him posting a lot. I don't understand the language, but I think he's doing great.
That's awesome.
And it was a struggle for him in his own way, but that's another connection I developed there. So but again, back to this expenses. Things have become so expensive. Traveling is becoming very difficult.
Yeah.